Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today. Of course, I've been popping out all kinds of reviews. Here we are with a new game review, followed up with another one immediately after it for a very different type of game. But we'll talk about that in a moment when I get there. Anyway, this review is for a game that I didn't even know it existed until around my birthday. I got some gift cards and stuff. I got some money from family and friends. And I went to GameStop, and I bought a lot of different games that I saw out there, a lot of horror games, but mainly Call of Duty games, and I've been playing a little bit of those here lately, been doing reviews on them. The previous one I reviewed was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 2019 remake, reboot, soft reboot, whatever it is. I had also heard, apparently as a correction for that review, apparently that's not tied to the original 3 Modern Warfare games, which confused the shit out of me. And then I find out more and more. I've been out of the loop of Call of Duty for so long, and I loved this when I was growing up in high school and whatnot. Getting back into it now, I'm learning a lot of different shit happened in the community that pissed a lot of people off. And I liked Modern Warfare 2019. Pretty good game. Mainly the story. I didn't really play much of like a multiplayer type of thing. I mainly just played the story. Now, Black Ops 4 is very unique because they fucked up. They fucked up big time. They did not make a campaign for this game. And they tried to. I read some stuff online. I watched some stuff online. A lot of places, like, different companies will say, like, they never had one planned at all. That's bullshit. They actually started off very early on. They didn't have enough time to get, like, the mocap and everything else ready to go. But the kind of story they were going to make sounded really cool. And, of course, on the front of the cover of this game, from my Xbox One copy, it says, requires internet. This is really the only one I've seen that says that flat out requires internet on the front. I think the new Modern Warfare 2 also says that. But the rest really haven't said that. It kind of said, like, downloadable content for the 2019 Modern Warfare needed that. Of course, you have other things like Warzone and stuff as features that I'm not really impressed with. I tried a little bit of it. It wasn't super impressed, but Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I did not know ever came out. I thought we just had 3 of these games. There's actually 5. I didn't know that Cold War counted as Black Ops. It's in the title. I didn't know that until I was looking at it recently. But anyway, there are 5 Black Ops games at this point. This one, Black Ops 4, came out in 2018. Now, just so you know my history of Black Ops games, I love the first one. The first one, story-wise and multiplayer, when I had Xbox Live at the time, that's my personal favorite Call of Duty ever. Followed up with, like, Modern Warfare 2. Followed up behind that as my number 3 pick, probably maybe Advanced Warfare, maybe not even that. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of different ones out there. I really like World at War 2, even though the story is not as good as like the Modern Warfare games. I have my disappointments in the series, but Black Ops 1 is my absolute favorite. Dude, I used to decimate motherfuckers with the shotgun in that game, especially online. People used to get so butthurt about that. And they nerfed it for this game, but I'll get there in a minute. Black Ops 2 came out. I was very pissed off because it skipped so far into the future. And that was a massive misstep in my opinion, but a lot of people liked that. Black Ops 2's multiplayer is fun. The campaign, I remember being really dull, a big letdown, but okay for what it was. And then Black Ops 3, I remember I got a PlayStation 3 copy. I think I've talked about this here on the channel before. I got a copy. I still own it for PlayStation 3, but the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 copies didn't have a story mode. Only the new generations of, like, Xbox One, I believe is what it was, and PS4, they were the only ones with an actual campaign. So at some point I have to rebuy that game just to be able to play the story, which is total bullshit. Hopefully the story is actually on it and I don't have to download it since it would be the previous console stuff. Anyway, Black Ops 4, as I said, doesn't have a campaign. It has a lot of great bonuses, though, I'll tell you that. I did go ahead and sign on, not Xbox Live, but I attached my console to the internet. I downloaded all this shit, just like I had to go through with Modern Warfare 2019. Surprisingly, this one didn't have as much of a trouble downloading as Modern Warfare 2019 had. I got it downloaded, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was really, really having a blast. I couldn't play online, as in multiplayer, because I don't have Xbox Live. I think it's very much bullshit that, in this case, Treyarch and Activision really went out of their way to have an anti-consumer practice and try to fuck you over. I think it's ridiculous. They took away the idea that you didn't have to have internet to enjoy Call of Duty. Call of Duty campaigns typically, in my opinion, are very solid. Typically, in my opinion, they are typically pretty good. I haven't played the brand new ones like Vanguard or Modern Warfare 2, or even Cold War for that matter. But the ones I've played in recent years, not in recent years, but the ones from previous, like the last 5 years or so, like this one, like Modern Warfare 2019 that came out the year after it, I've really enjoyed a lot of it. And this game is no different. I have a lot of fun with the actual gameplay because you at least have a setting that is better than the Cold War game. If you don't have your PS4 attached to the internet on that console, when you play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on that console, you get like 2 matches that you can play on maps with bots. You can't get your campaign or anything. I've complained about this over and over again, as you guys know. But with this game, at least, when you do the matches with the bots, you have every map pretty much unlocked except for DLC stuff. But you have, tons of maps to play with. And I loved that. I was so thankful that at least I could play with bots. And I'll tell you, pretty much every feature was unlocked for guns, as far as I could tell. Probably new stuff that I don't know about is in there somewhere. I played through every single map in this game, and I tried to use every weapon I could from the game too, just to get a general idea on what really suited my skills, what had changed over the years in Call of Duty, the way the gameplay works and whatever. The graphics are beautiful. I want to tell you that first and foremost. Yes, it's still very futuristic. I assume it's many years beyond Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 I remember being kind of a futuristic thing as well, but I remember people liking that game. I remember people liking that one apparently more than what they liked this. When you look at this game on IMDb, it has like a 5 out of 10, which is fucking crazy to me personally. Excuse me. If you're going to have a game not have a campaign and just be about the gameplay, like something like Pac-Man, for example, or Super Mario Brothers, which has a plot but not really a campaign, a story. It's really just a guy trying to rescue somebody. If you're going to do a game like this where you just focus on the shooting, the jumping, the techniques, the kind of things you can do, with what I was given, even though I absolutely had to attach my console to the internet to play anything at all, otherwise you can't do anything at all with this game, is fucking ridiculous to me. But when I got everything else downloaded and I actually played the game, I had a blast. The bots are fun to play against. The maps are phenomenal. Like I said, the graphics are beautiful. The music is fantastic in this game. Every time a match begins and ends, that guitar riff reminds me of the chills I used to get when I first got to play Call of Duty Zombies and World at War, when that was the first time they had ever done something like that for Call of Duty. The guitar riff from Zombies is like nothing you've ever heard before when you were playing back then. That was something so incredibly impactful. There was nothing like it. This game, in pretty much every area, I think it's a massive, massive amount of fun. Just a fun, crazy, let's shoot at everybody type of game. And the fact that I can also play Search and Destroy with robots, that's fun. I really enjoyed that because Search and Destroy is my favorite game mode. I played pretty much maybe like 75% of the modes. Like I played Team Deathmatch, I played Search and Destroy, I played Gun Game, I played a lot of the stuff that I love. One in the Chamber I used to play all the time with my friends on Xbox Live on the first Black Ops. They took a lot of maps from the other Black Ops games, like Summit. They took, what else was there? The Firing Range. They took a lot of different things like that. They have a map version of Nuketown in this, which was great. I haven't played on Nuketown in forever. This one was like Russia-themed and had like a train in the middle of the field and the cul-de-sac. There were so many great things that I got to play in this game, and I had so much fun. The guns are kind of another story. They shoot nice. It depends on what we're talking about, but most of them, I think, are kind of nerfed. The biggest example of that, I'm a big shotgun guy because shotguns scatter. And in real life and in games, I like shotguns because they scatter. Because if I miss, there's a good chance I can still get you. A little bit. And in this case, the shotguns are nerfed so much compared to Black Ops 1. And even Black Ops 2 had better shotguns, but they were weaker than Black Ops 1. The Black Ops 4 shotguns, to me, are not that powerful. They are very much a secondary weapon in the sense of like you have a pistol typically for a secondary weapon in games when people typically play any of these games, because it's just just in case I run out of bullets in my machine gun or my assault rifle, I can just switch over really quick, pop you a couple of times, you're dead. That's kind of the way you have to use a shotgun in this game. You can't really just walk up to somebody and blast them with one good shot unless they're low on health, which, by the way, let's talk about the health thing. You don't regenerate health. You get like one shot if you can get away from somebody fast enough. to take like the 3 or 4 seconds it takes to stab yourself with a needle and then fill your health bar back up. Yes, health bars are back in this game. I don't know how much of a fan of I am of that. I kind of prefer the regenerating health thing. I think I played through Call of Duty 3 back on PlayStation 2 a long time ago. We're talking like 10 years ago. And I think there were health kits in that game too that you had to go pick up to restore your health. I don't think there was an automatic regeneration thing. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer the regeneration thing. I think it's just a little bit simpler. I feel like they added it in here to have a little bit more of a challenge for people. But if you're going to nerf the shotgun and a lot of guns, like pistols and shit in this game, in my opinion, it's kind of not fair. But when it comes to sound design and everything else, all of that stuff is really good. Again, the graphics, beautiful. The locations, the updates on some locations, like Summit, they're truly beautiful. They look incredible. The old ones that are here that I don't think they modified much aside from some texture stuff, like firing range, look incredible. There's new places. There's one that's like it's almost like an aviation government building museum type of thing. That's pretty cool. I really like that. There is a lot of cool stuff to enjoy in this game. I just wish we had a campaign. Now, I know when people talk about there not being a campaign, they aren't really including things that are in here, like this. You must go online, have an Xbox Live account thing to play these like small character missions for the different types of characters you can choose in this game. Yes, I said that. You can go in this game every time a match is about to begin. Before the match begins, like 30 seconds before, you get to pick your class. You also get to pick a character that has different, traits. A lot of them are just dudes with beards or women with like the SJW side of the haircut shaved thing. And then you have like a couple of robots, and then you have a guy named Spectre that I love, and then you have another guy named Firebreaker that I also love. And those are really the ones I stuck to, were the robots, Firebreaker, and Spectre. They are freaking awesome. I love them. They wear these really cool, kind of stealthy looking outfits. It's great. I love it. But the guns are nerfed, in my opinion. I'm not a big regular old, assault rifle fan in Call of Duty because typically they don't do what I need them to do, which is obliterate everything in front of me. Unless it's one of the big chain gun type of things in these games, I'm not really good at killing the people in front of me. Does that make sense? Just because I feel like the path of travel for a regular assault rifle in these games, like an AK-47 type of shit, and they have updated versions of things like that in this game that are kind of like futuristic modified versions of old guns that you and I know in our current day. That's kind of neat. Still not a fan of how slow they shoot or how easy it is to miss a lot of the time. There's a lot of times I think it's bullshit that I missed. I died a lot. a lot. Especially playing Search and Destroy. But I had a good time nonetheless. There was quite a few times of having a good time. But if you put the bots' intelligence too low, like the casual setting for them, not like the normal or hard or extremely hard, whatever the different settings are, if you put them at the lowest setting of intelligence, I'm truly telling you, they are fucking stupid. They don't even try to go after each other in Search and Destroy. They might know that the other bomb has been activated on the other side of the map, and they're just standing around looking at the sky and shit. They do that all the time. The bots constantly do that. So I will give Black Ops Cold War that, because the bots there feel like I'm playing against real people when I have the console just attached to the internet, but not on like PSN or anything like that. Excuse me. Still trying to get over a cold and everything. I feel like there's a couple of things I'm missing, though, for this. Oh, there is a couple of new features. I tried one thing. It's kind of like PUBG. It's called Blackout, I believe. That is kind of like a weird rip-off of PUBG type thing, but I liked what I saw of it. I tried to play it. I think I fucked up, and I don't think I added any bots to it, but I got in there, I wandered around. The graphics look a little bit better than the actual base game of this, but it wasn't anything really to write home to, or write home about, in my opinion. Black Ops 4 apparently is kind of dead, from what I understand looking at Reddit, and just looking online in general. I see some YouTubers talking about that recently. That's kind of sad. It's kind of a shame in my opinion, because I really like this game. I think it's very good for what it is. I'm just mad over not having a campaign. I think that's a massive, massive anti-consumer move from Activision and Treyarch. I feel like that's a massive insult to fans like myself who are big story fans. And I understand the time constraints, but you didn't have to have a Call of Duty every year. Their publisher says otherwise. So they got screwed a little bit. But that campaign idea they were going to have originally sounded pretty cool. You should look into that if you haven't heard about it before. Pretty neat. I liked what I heard, but we didn't go there. There's not really much more to say about this game. I like it more than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Of course, the year after this is when that came out. I think the gameplay is much better here. I love the skate park that you can shoot out at. That's a great map. I really love that. I think that's brand new for this game. It might have been Black Ops 3, but it definitely wasn't 1 and 2. I love that map. I think that's probably my favorite aside from the classics included in this game from the old games. As a newer map to me, I really like the skate park. Really cool map. There's some old ones like Jungle that I really like. Jungle Flooded is a really cool variation of that, where there's like just swamps and stuff. I had a blast with this. A really good time. And it's the kind of thing, even though I can't play against real people because I don't have Xbox Live, I don't really want it, playing against just bots was really fun. I had a good time with that. I really did. And I feel like they were a little bit of a challenge. It's kind of unfair. Like I said, the bots are kind of dumb most of the time until they encounter you, and then they're fucking Navy SEALs in their precision on shooting. It's crazy to me. The other thing I did want to bring up too, I did finally, for whatever reason, I got to finally mess with zombies. It did download on here. And I only tried one mode of this. I'm bad at zombies to begin with, but I have fun when I play it. Let me tell you that first and foremost. This is like a story mode zombies. I don't know how often this has been done in Call of Duty. I don't know if this is a frequent thing. They typically do. But there is a mode in here where you're basically on a yacht, like a big old yacht, like an actual like Titanic type of boat, and you're trying to fight zombies. You're like this really cool guy with a trench coat and everything. You and your friends are trying to commit a heist on here. You go up against a magician, and he gets pushed out of some kind of spell-casting circle he was in to hurt you and your friends, and he and everybody else on the boat start turning into zombies. The guests and everybody do. And you're kind of just trying to make your way through it. Now, on the first go, I was surprised how far I got. I ran out of bullets fairly quick. I stabbed the shit out of a lot of zombies, and I got pretty decent into it, in my opinion, for what my skill is. I usually suck really hard at zombies, just because they're challenging. You know, they don't go down very easy. And I don't have good enough aim anymore to hit the head all the time. So it has its moments that are a little tricky. But I had fun with that. That was fun, too. The music was good there. The graphics are even better than I think in the main game that I played with the multiplayer settings. With the bots, I mean. But overall, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm still let down with no story. I really wanted to get into this. I think it's a shame how they went about executing this game, how it's very anti-consumer with the practices they've done with having to have internet and all that. I think that's fucking insane, because if you don't have that, like I said, you genuinely can't do anything on this game. It's not like Saints Row where you can put it in and you will have a hard time because of all the glitches and shit that can break the game from what I hear without any updates. It's not as simple as that. You genuinely can't use this. This is a coaster if you don't have internet. So be warned about that in case you go into this game or you pick it up with birthday money like I did. Just be wary about that. You should be wary about any Call of Duty game that comes out nowadays in the last 5, 6, 7 years because of that, apparently. It's a shame. A big shame. Anyway, with all that being said, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, do I recommend it? I had a really good time. I wish it had a story. I wish there were other things that I could actually access, like those personal character story mode things. I can't access any of that. But the gameplay, in my opinion, is sharper than it's ever been in this game. I understand why it has its audience. There's a lot of people who hate this because of the story mode bullshit, and I agree with them. But I agree with the people who think it's very well executed. It's very fun to play. This is one of the funnest Call of Duties I've ever played. I'm not even a fan of the futuristic stuff outside of Advanced Warfare. That should tell you a lot, in my opinion. I'm a big supporter of this game. As much bullshit as I think is involved with it. As many bullshit decisions as I think the company made against consumers. It has a lot to offer. And it kind of makes you want to have Xbox Live to play other people on it. But again, I'm so late to the game. 5 years, 6 years down the road, it's not even worth it anymore. Not that I have time, but still. Well, I have time, but I don't have that kind of time where I want to play it by myself. All that being said, though, I had a good time with the game. I do recommend it if you haven't played it before. It is fun. Just be wary of what you're getting into. If you're a person who has to play against bots because you don't have internet, if you don't have internet, you can't use it. But if you don't have Xbox Live, the bots are really fun to play against, for the most part, depending on what setting you got them on. There's not a whole lot of customization and whatever. The guns are kind of nerfed, like I said, but some of them are really great, and some are really rough, in my opinion. But if you like this kind of game, if you love Call of Duty, this is worth checking out. If you love Black Ops 2, and I guess Black Ops 3, if that's still futuristic like I think it was, then I think you'll like this. It's just, there's no campaign, which is depressing and sad. I feel like this was an experiment to try to get away without having one. I really do. I know 2019's Modern Warfare was already in production and everything by the time this came out, but point is, it feels like an experiment just to see what the fans would have said to Treyarch and to Activision if we didn't have a campaign. And that kind of bothers me just a little bit. It feels slimy. It feels really slimy because you know they probably charged $60, $70 when this came out. Probably 60, but still, full price, I'd bet. Anyway, I'm losing my voice. I need to go ahead and end this and get a drink of water and start getting on to my cleaning around the house. And with all that being said, I do recommend the game if you're the kind of person who sounds like you're interested in what I talked about. But be ready, because it's going to be a useless, no server support game one of these days. It's one of those guaranteed ones that will have that one day. There won't be any way to use it, probably. Which sucks. Big time. With all that being said, though, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, did you love it? Did you hate it? Put your thoughts and comments down below, folks. I would love to hear what you have to say about this really cool game. Just really fucked up game. Anyway, sorry about the weird choppy video with my voice being all, messed up from the illness coming back. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.